Hi, this is Margo. This is Friday evening, June 14th, 2019, 7:34 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. So we made it through another week. I hope everyone is doing well and, getting ready for the weekend now. So we're going to start with the Oroville Lake level. Let's see if we can get the latest data here from 7 o'clock. It's up to 894.21 feet. It's still going up. It looks like the inflows have fluctuated. From 8 o'clock this morning they were 9107. Then it went down to 5411 at noontime, and then it went back up, started going back up this afternoon at about 4 p.m. It was 8232, and now it's gone back down, and the inflow at 7 o'clock was 5941. Now those are cubic feet per second, and the outflow has been right around 5,000 CFS. So it is gradually rising. At midnight it was 894.01, and it's now 894.20. So it's gone up 0.19 of a foot. It's almost 2/10 of a foot. Yesterday, from midnight to midnight, it went up 0.31 feet. So remember, the top of the emergency spillway is 902 feet. So we're anxiously watching that to see what's going to happen in that neck of the woods. Now, I thought we'd just check in at Volcano Discovery for the volcanoes that are in the news today. We have Popocatépetl, Chivoloche, Ducono, and Reventador. So Chivoloche is in Kamchatka. That's the peninsula. I'll show you where it is. It's on this peninsula here. It's kind of up here in that region. I've showed that before. It says explosive activity continues. Volcanic Ash Advisory Center Tokyo warned about a volcanic ash plume that rose up to estimated 15,000 feet or 4,600 meters altitude or flight level 150. And then here's the full report if you want to look at that. Ducono, Halmahera, and that's in Indonesia. Explosive activity continues. Volcanic Ash Advisory Center Darwin warned about a volcanic ash plume that rose up to estimated 7,000 feet or 2,100 meters altitude or flight level 070. And there's that full report. Now I have that one pulled up on Google Earth so that we can see where that is. So here's Indonesia. Well, we can back out. So here's Australia. Wait, it's all cloud covered. Where is it? No, sorry. Here's Australia here. I'm getting turned around. Here's Papua New Guinea. Here's Indonesia, the little weird group, looks like a strange M or something. And it's on this left arm of it, and it's up on the north side. So that's where that is. So if we look on the earthquake map, it's over here. It's right up here. right there in that area. And we see earthquakes normally in the ocean here, but we see earthquakes over there all the time. So that one is releasing. Popocatépetl in central Mexico. We've shown that before. Explosive activity continues. Volcanic ash advisory. Washington warned about a volcanic ash plume that rose up to estimated 32,000 feet or 9,800 meters altitude or flight level 320 and is moving at 30 to 35 knots in northeast direction. So if you want to see where that is, we can plug it in. There's a picture of it. It's right there. It's huge. It's constantly going off, and it's in Mexico. And there's a whole band of volcanoes that it's like a belt that goes across this area. There's about 8 of them, and they're all active, pretty active. But that's the most active one. It's not far from Mexico City. And then Reventador, Ecuador, Volcanic Ash Advisory, Washington, issued the following report. So let's go there. At 2309 UTC, on June the 14th, they had KNES VA Advisory, Washington, Ecuador, the summit elevation 11,686, advisory 662. It says, remark, we have received information suggesting a possible VA emission, that's volcanic emission. We will gather further information and issue a full advisory as soon as possible. Next advisory as soon as possible. So they're thinking that something's going on there. So if you want to see where, sorry. So if you want to see where that is, we can look that up. Ecuador. It's down here in South America. There it is. Not a very clear picture. So that's where that one is. So we'll close that out. Just thought that was interesting. So now let's move on to our earthquake report. So we have USGS pulled up here for the last 24 hours, and we're showing 266 earthquakes worldwide of all magnitudes. Of those, 32 are 2.5 magnitude or higher. So let's see what the oldest one is. This 3.4 at Stroud, Oklahoma came in at 8:15 last night. So let's just go there with all magnitudes. So here it is, 3.4 Stroud, Oklahoma at 8:15 last night. And then we've had 2. Oh no, looks like more than that. we've had 5 here southwest of it. Well, so we're gonna keep, well, where did Stroud go? Oh, there's Stroud. So 6 including Stroud. So all of these are in this cluster at Tuttle. So there are 5 here. 1.8, 2.1, 1.6, 2.0, and 2.8. So those are getting bigger, and they're still, normally we might see 1 in Oklahoma, but we've been seeing a bunch there recently, a bunch more, an increase definitely. Okay, so that was the first one to come off the map. So let's start right here in the Atlantic Ocean. Right on this red line, there was a 5.2 at the northern mid-Atlantic ridge at 1:44 this afternoon. So we're seeing them quite often in the Atlantic Ocean here. Now in South America was a 4.1 near Los Andes, Chile at 21:14, 9:14 last night, and a 4.4 near Coquimbo, Chile at 9:21 last night. Remember, we saw that big 6.4 down here in the same area, so this is the last one from that, it looks like. Now, here off the coast of Guatemala, we've had 5 in the same place near Puerto Madero, actually Mexico. So I'm going to call these off. 5.1 at 9:26 this morning, 4.6 at 9:34, 5.0 at 11:12, 4.2 at 11:27, and 4.7 at 11:36. And all these times I'm telling you are Pacific time because that's my time zone. So definitely clustering down here. So we'll be watching that. Now let's come across the Pacific. Start down here in the South Pacific. 4.8 south of Raoul Island, New Zealand at 2:04 this afternoon. Very shallow, 4 kilometers deep. Very shallow. 5.2 near Ohonua, Tonga at 8:53 last night. There's a 4.6 near Aua, I don't know how to say that, Aua, American Samoa at 10:46 this morning. Showed that one. 4.7 near Zagavi, Wallace and Futuna at 6:04 this afternoon or this evening. 4.9 Fiji region at 12:54 this morning. 511 kilometers deep, very deep. And a 5.2 near Isengel, Vanuatu at 9:28 last night. So the deep ones are what make the plates move around the planet. Then a 4.8 near Tual, Indonesia at 9:56 last night. 5.6 near Tual at 1:10 this afternoon. This one is showing 103 kilometers deep. 5.1 near Kahale, Indonesia at 11:54 last night. Is showing the little wave, and I went there and there's no warning. Next, 5.3 near Yigo Village, Guam at 12:50 this morning, 59 kilometers deep. Let's see. Okay, and then here's another one on the Carlsberg Ridge. We saw a couple over here last night. So here's another one of 4.9 last night at 8:59 p.m. So it looks like that's all the international earthquakes. So let's get started on the others. Here in Hawaii, we're seeing 6 here today. This is Kilauea here. So I'll call them off. 0.7, that's at Mauna Loa. 1.8, Pahala. 1.6, Pahala. 1.7, Pahala. 2.6, Honaunau Napupu. And a 1.9 at Mauna Loa. So those are small, except for that. This is the biggest one, this 2.6. That's pretty good size. Now, let's come on over to the Caribbean. This is calmed down. We're only seeing 3 here today. 2.3, 2.4, and a 2.9. So that's calmed way down since the last few days. Now in Alaska, we've got 74 on the map here. Of those, we have 4 that are 2.5 magnitude or higher. Here was a 2.8 at Anchorage, 2.7 Meadow Lakes, 3.1 Seaward, and 2.9 Adak. So here was that 2.9. So we can see some small ones on these islands. Here's a 1.0 Tanaga volcano. And all of these islands are volcanic. Here's a couple here in Alaska, small ones. Here's the Cook Inlet. We've got a few peppered around here. Here's a 2.0 at Kodiak. 1.6 Anchor Point, 1.5 Anchor Point, 1.2 Anchor Point, 1.9, and so forth. So here's Anchorage. We can see this cluster is beginning to cluster a little bit more here today, but they did have that larger one, that 2.8 here today. So in this view, we see 22 here today. So this is including these right around here. Then we can see they're just moving up. And here's a new one that just came in, 2.3 at Sutton Alpine. And so they just go up through the middle of the state. It's kind of how they do. Then we've got several up here on the northern part near Koktovik, 2.0, 2.1, and then some smaller ones. And then over here at Kobuk, we have 14 here today. These are all like mid ones and under. Now, let's come on down to the lower 48. Now, in the lower 48, we have 165 earthquakes. So we already looked at Oklahoma. So, yep, that's hanging in there. Now let's move on over to, okay, that one's coming off the map of Utah, 1.3 at Gunnison. That was last night. In the Yellowstone region, today, we're seeing 9 earthquakes. The biggest one is this 3.3 near Soda Springs, Idaho. This came in at 5:14 this morning. So that's getting on up there. So then we had a cluster at West Yellowstone right here. We had a 1.5, a 1.9, a 0.4, and that's all there. And then we had 2 quarry blasts, it looks like. We had a 1.3 quarry blast near Whitehall, Montana, and a 1.8 magnitude quarry blast near Butte, Montana. So 2 quarry blasts today. And then these were at Lincoln, a 1.0, 2.3, and a 1.2. So you're still blasting for whatever reason. Now up here in the northwest, northwest Pacific, we're showing 6 earthquakes here today. Here's the real-time tremor map for, what'd I do? For yesterday, and they're showing 47 tremors. Let's do that again. Yep, 47 yesterday. So, alright. Yep. So what we're seeing is down here in Medford, just to the northwest of Medford, is where these 47 are clustering today, or yesterday. And the tremors are what happened before earthquakes happen. So Medford is right down here, so it was right up here where those tremors were. So we've got a 1.6 magnitude explosion near Lakeside, Oregon. So we've got, here we go, 6 here. We got a 0.7 Morton, and Morton and Amboy are at Mount St. Helens. A 0.5 Amboy, 0.3 Amboy. Here's a 1.1 Sunnyside, 1.4 Graham. And we saw the explosion. So these 3, one of them was actually right in the crater, or right on the edge of the crater of Mount St. Helens. Then the other 2 were on the flank. So they're small, but it's still showing movement. Now going down into Northern California, we're going to start with this 3.2 near Petrolia. This came in at 3:59 this afternoon, and this is at this fulcrum point where the San Andreas fault line comes up and meets with the Juan de Fuca plate and the Cascadia subduction zone, so a lot of pressure is exerted here, and it sends the force out this way So whenever we see one here, we're going to see stuff moving across, which is exactly what we see here. So almost straight across, we've got 3 right here in Northern California. And we're watching these closely because of the situation with all of the full reservoirs. This is Lake Shasta, which is a reservoir with a dam that's full. The lake is full. This is Lake Almanor, same situation. And then here's Oroville Lake, same situation. And it's rising as we saw. So any earthquakes in these areas are of to be noted and are of concern. So we got this 1.1. They're calling it near Manton, California. This came in at 2:11 this morning. It's directly to the west of Lake Almanor and southeast of Lake Shasta, and then Oroville is right down here. Then we have a 0.2 at Viola, which is here in Lyson Volcano area. Here's Lyson Peak, so it's not far from Lyson. And here's a 0.6 near East Quincy. So that's definitely showing movement all around there. So now let's move on over to the Nevada part, and here's a minus 0.1 near Tahoe Vista. It's on the northwest corner or edge of Lake Tahoe. I live on the flight path. You can hear that. That's some heavy duty, whatever's going over. Man. So we have 5 here near Smith Valley, Nevada today in this little group clustered here. The largest one is a 1.1 and the rest are under that. Then we've got these 3 right in here just across the border, 0.5, 1.1 and a 0.8. I can still hear that airplane. It's still going. It's crazy. Here's a 1.0 near Bishop, California. And then in southern Nevada, we have 4 here today, all near Alamo. And they're small, they're under 1s. I can still hear the airplanes going. That must have been a fleet. That was excessive. What you just heard, that was excessive. That was more than 1 airplane. I can still hear it echoing. Maybe it's coming back around. Okay, we've got 12 here at Mammoth Lakes today. I can still hear it. It's like this low rumble now. Oh my God. That's kind of freaky. Yeah, the largest is this 1.8 West Bishop. And here's a 1.6 at Yosemite. Oh, here's the largest 1.9 Yosemite. So there's those. We've got 3 up here. 3 small ones at Lone Pine and Big Pine. Then at Coso Junction we have 8 here today. 1.3 is the largest one, the rest are under that. Here's a 0.8 Searles Valley. Here in Southern California we're showing 49 here today. Let's see if any of these are 2.5 magnitude or higher. No, they're not. Here's a 1.9 off the shore of La Jolla. Here's a 1.3 off the shore of Rancho Palos Verdes. And a 2.1 off the shore of Malibu Beach. So this red line down here, it's called the Imperial Fault. Here's the Salton Sea, and then where it picks up, that's the San Andreas Fault, and this red line goes all the way up. So let's zoom in a little and see what we can pick up here. So we're seeing these clusters all around. Now right up here is where Glen Avon is, and there are 14 here today. Here's a 2.0, 1.5. The 2.0 it looks like was the biggest, and then the rest are under that. But of note, look down here at all these quarry blasts. Just to the south there were 4 quarry blasts. Unbelievable. Here was a 1.4. These are at Home Gardens, California. This came in at 10:02 this morning. That's a quarry blast. Here's a 1.3 quarry blast at 3:47 this afternoon. There's a 1.1 quarry blast at 3:01 this afternoon, and a 1.6 quarry blast at 1:32 this afternoon. So they've been blasting all day by this Lake Matthews for whatever reason. It looks like there's mountains there. So they're blasting in the mountains, and that can't be good. That causes earthquakes. Here's a 1.5 that just came in at Trabuco Canyon at 7:14. So, and you wonder why we have earthquakes in addition to all the drilling. Here's a 0.9 near Pacoima. So we're not seeing any right by the tar pits, the La Brea tar pits at least. Now let's come up this red line. Here's a 0.9 Parkfield, 1.0 Tres Pinos, 0.8 Gilroy, 2.4 Pacifica. Okay, let's look at all of these. At the geysers, there are 43 here today. So this 2.6 is the highest one right here. That was at Cobb. So that's an uptick in the number. I think we saw like 20 something yesterday, and the day before were 30 something. Average is around 25 to 30. So this is a higher number, 43. But most of these are under 1. And then up here we have another cluster at Boonville. We've got 4, 2.3, 2.9, 2.4, and 2.6. So something's going on there. And then this one just to the north at 1.8 at Brook Trails. It's a lot of activity. A lot of stuff happening. Let's see what just came in. We just had a 1.2 at Kobuk. 2.8 Tuttle. I think we saw that. Anyway, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, that's what we saw a while ago. So I'll go ahead and sign off for now. I do believe we are very close to the end. We are in the end times, and things are going to start dropping like dominoes quickly. So I recommend everyone get your spiritual house in order. That's the most important preparation you can do. And until next time, everyone, God bless you. Go in peace, and I'll talk to you soon. Good night.